And within those topics, your instructors have access to what sign-offs will need to be done for those days, so that at the end of each day, you go to your instructor and get the sign-off done on CommTracker. So it is all laid out so that you, if you follow what the instructors are telling you, by the end of skills, you will have all your sign-offs.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
And so because it's in the Moodle, because I just took a look at that, there's like a skills kind of class, kind of like we have like the PCP, 103 or whatever.
Yeah.
So in there, I'll be able to see generally what we'll be doing per day, kind of like in the AMP course where it says day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 type thing.
Kind of, yes.
Okay.
It's going to be more general,
Okay.
okay? Because it's topics and then you're running scenarios, right? So you're given instruction at the beginning, and then you're off running scenarios in smaller groups with instructors. So it does look different. You will get more information as you get closer to the day. We don't know exactly what day that is because we need Paul and Tony to finish up everything they need to do with you. But it will be the general area of that that is on your schedule. That will, before then, we will give you a concrete day.
Okay.
Approximately when is skills supposed to start for your group? Just remind me.
I'm just gonna look at the schedule right now. So our last day of theory, which is job search, is July 31st, and then we have a long weekend. And then the first day after that, that's not a statutory holiday, is Tuesday, August 4th.
Yeah.
And that's one question I had from another student that knew I was going into this college. She was going to ask, well, like, do we have a specific start date and a specific end date? Or does it kind of fluctuate?
For skills?
Yeah, for skills.
So you're probably going to start after the long weekend.
Okay, so just that day after. Okay.
Yeah.
And then does
And
the
then
end date change?
The end date, no, the end date is the same because your placement start date is concrete.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. And you're expected to be on campus every day, Monday to Friday, from 8 to 2, I think. Okay. And there are clinical days. Hi, Allison. Sorry,
Sorry about that. I was watching the lift test.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
So there'll be clinical days integrated in there as well. So they will either be outside of your skills day time during the week, or they could be on the weekends. But again, Amy will be in touch with you. She will schedule all of that. Those of you who have all your paperwork done and are ready to go to clinical will start clinical. Those who do not will not. And you'll be meeting with Allie. So then clinical is also competencies that are signed off in CommTracker. I think there's 10 of them. So then as you work through your clinical and you work through your skills, by the time you get to that end date, you'll have your competencies signed off, and you do have the midterm testing and the final testing in skills as well.
Okay, yeah. So I actually was going to touch a little more on the clinicals because we kind of know pretty little about that as well. What is kind of like the day-to-day things that we get up to when we're at the hospitals? Like, I understand that there's going to be sign-offs that we have to get taken care of, but past that, I just know I have to show up. So
you show up.
Yeah.
That's basically what you do. You show up, you follow the nurses and doctors you're assigned to around, and you do what they say. You show them you're going to take initiative. You basically show up because each clinical site is different as to what they want you to do, what they expect you to do. So you show up and they will give you direction. You're there for your first patient experience in a kind of a more organized environment than on the road. You're following nurses and doctors around. You'll get a chance to do blood pressures, talk to patients, things like that. But it is, and it's exposure, right, to what that emerge looks like or respiratory therapy looks like, or wherever you end up doing a shift. That's
a lot of reading ECGs, things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that kind of explains it a lot more for me. So it's very dynamic. It's not like you go to the hospital, you sit in a classroom, and then they make you do a very specific thing. It's kind of just, I need you to fold some laundry. Do that, kind of deal. So
Yep.
It might be.
Yeah.
Yep.
But people do have some very cool experiences, on some good, cool experiences, and some absolutely not so good clinical cool experiences. But you know, you're not going to get that every shift, but you're going to see a lot.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Some more questions I had going into just the skills portion, not the preceptor or the clinicals. So I was going to ask about, obviously I understand that this is a accelerated program, but I was going to ask about how condensed skills feels, and maybe if you guys talked to previous graduates before and how they feel about it comparative to the theory. Because right now in theory, going through AMP, I'm doing very well keeping up with that. I take notes on every class, pretty much write every chapter in my own words. It is disgusting the amount of words that I've written in my one note, but I find it very hard to be able to go back and restudy things, touch up on my old notes during this period because just how condensed it is. Will I have the opportunity to do that during skills, or are we still going to get blasted with homework during that?
The homework you're going to get blasted with is learning your protocols. So if you have been learning your BLS, ALS protocols all along, then you will have less homework during skills. But if you haven't had a chance to do that, I recommend you start doing that because there will be quizzes at the beginning of every class on a particular protocol for that day. So the idea is by the end of skills, you know those protocols cold, but you should know them before that, because our hands can only do what our brain tells them if our brain knows the protocol. So that's your Bible, BLS, ALS. The protocols are your life, and those need to be memorized. So we do recognize that that's a lot on the way through the program. So as you head into skills, that will be what you are doing. So you will be going over a protocol. You'll be practicing the scenarios based on those protocols during the day. And then it helps you know what you don't know so that you can go home afterwards and kind of review, like think about what didn't go well for that day so that you can review what you maybe didn't know. The idea is, you know, you practice and then come back, and those protocols and skills will be covered later on too. So you're ready for the next time it comes around. So the homework will mostly be reviewing protocols, knowing them cold, and maybe going back and looking at some PCT stuff to help you understand what maybe didn't make sense in skills. But when you're in skills, a lot of times as you're working through that, it makes the PCT make sense more.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of my goal when I get to skills. And what you just told me kind of gives me a little bit of relief, because our friend group in the Discord, on Fridays, sometimes we'll get together and basically audit each other on the directives. Now, we haven't been able to do it every week because sometimes we get busy. But personally, I find for myself learning the directives, the ALS and the BLS, isn't very challenging. So I'm glad that there's more time during that period to go back over my patient care theory, especially do. I pretty much want to do that whole course again, despite my decent grades. But and then you touched on like doing quizzes like in class about the ALS or the BLS, depending on what you'd be doing for that day. But past that, how do most of the days work, and kind of like what you get up to? Is it mostly because we've already done the theory? Is it mostly just hands-on?
It is all hands-on. Yeah. It is all hands-on. It's 10 weeks of we're throwing you feet first into hands-on. So the quizzes are at the beginning. They don't count for marks. They're simply to let you know what you need to go back and learn because you don't know that protocol. It's just more for your benefit. But they're put there so that you know it makes people study more to know that they're going to be doing a quiz and somebody's going to be looking at it. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you've been going over your directives already is amazing. After you write the quiz, you'll get some instructions. So there might be, 15, 20 minutes like a video or instruction from, the lead instructor, something like that. And then you're going to divide into groups and you're going to go with instructors and you're going to run scenarios based on the protocols for that day. And then you'll rotate around and you'll be doing different scenarios with different instructors throughout that day. So it'll be entirely hands-on. We don't have time and skills to teach PCT. That's done, but the skills does solidify some of the PCT.
Perfect. Okay, so there will be multiple instructors on site. It's not going to be 30 of us focus on one dude the whole time.
12,
right? Okay.
12 to 1.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And then, I'm sorry, I'm just going to go over my notes just to make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, I was going to ask about honors because I feel like my grades are fairly well. I tried looking in the student handbook before I bugged you guys about it to see if I can find anything, but unfortunately I couldn't find anything. Do you guys have like a set number for what is considered honors?
Yeah, it's a one-liner with some stars behind it in the marks area, but it's 85 or above.
85 or above. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, overall. Yeah.
Awesome. And also about our Moodle access, after we get done our preceptorship, how long will we have access to our course? Because I know a lot of us will be studying going into the AMCA as well, and I think the first time our cohort's going to be able to write is in June of 27. I think maybe January of 27, but I think it's June.
Okay. So you will still have Moodle access. And as long as you keep logging into your CTS email periodically and Moodle periodically, it will still allow you to do that. It's when you don't touch it for 6 months that it's like gone, 3 or 6 months. So yes, you will have access, but also, Master Your Medics is a good place to be reviewing as well because they have an MCA review in Master Your Medics. And we have just come out with an MCA type review that's being trialed on this group that's writing this June. And that's in Moodle. So you will need access to be able to do that. And it's written by people that have written or seen the MCA in the past. And it's to prepare you to more so, learn after you've studied take these review tests, see what you need to go back over, things like that. So yes, you will have Moodle access. And if for some reason you get locked out, just let us know. There's also a refresher course that you will have access to after you're done your skills. So that as well, we can get people set up with a refresher course as they head into placement, things like that. So the small answer to that is absolutely yes.
Okay, that makes me feel a lot better knowing that I could actually go back into this stuff. Because when I was getting my courses, like the biology course ahead of going to CTS, it was with TVO ILC, and as soon as you got done the course, it just boots you right out. They don't let you look at anything. So yeah. I'm glad. And I apologize, I'm kind of bouncing left and right, but you mentioned earlier that we have skills portion 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. So even though our cohort is the afternoon class starting at 1 p.m., which still during skills will go in at 8 a.m. though, right?
Yeah, skills is in the morning, and that is so because you have instruction like from 8 to 1 or 2. There's opportunity after to practice, which I highly, I can't stress enough how highly I recommend that. It doesn't have to be every day, but with hands-on stuff, we only get good at it if we do it when muscle memory kicks in, so that when you're in a timed, recorded environment, it's not a shocker, right? So Ali, I'm sure will agree with me here. Please stay after class.
Yes,
please
I
practice.
can. I can promise you the ones that stay after class, there's a direct reflection to their success in the skills. The practicing is important. The people that volunteer to participate in scenarios, either as a patient or a bystander or whatever, the more you engage yourself, the more successful you will be.
Awesome. I really appreciate that. I think that kind of covers most of my notes that I had ahead of here. Is there anything else that you kind of want to pass along to the rest of the cohort? Because, sorry, I will let you know, I was recording this so I could just send this to everybody else as well. But is there anything else that you guys kind of want to pass along before wrap it up?
I just want to make sure that you remember, we pointed out there's a PCP student handbook in Moodle there. Okay,
Yep.
so there's a lot of information in there, so please read through that. Some of the questions might be answered there about moving forward, but also we're happy to help them here, or happy to answer them here. So if anything else does come up, just let us know. You will be getting more information on skills, etc., as you head closer to that, but I do understand that August is going to crawl up on us very quickly. So
okay.
Yeah, well, and we all look forward to having everybody into campus, and Ali loves to go watch you.
For sure. I'm really excited. I know other people are excited. I'm excited to slow down on the grind a little bit and just kind of get, see people in person and be able to actually apply some of this stuff, because it's all very abstract right now. So
it's the fun part, right? It's what you've signed up for, the hands-on and integrating all the knowledge that you've packed into that brain.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. I'm gonna study. I got a test in an hour and a half. So
okay.
Yeah, I'll send you any emails if I have anything more for you.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Tanner.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.